So today we are going to kind of just be wrapping up everything that we've talked about this whole summer. We'll talk about like the reels that like Charlie Walker was speaking to us about. We'll talk about some of the stuff we learned from Newbie. We'll dive into Canva a little bit, talk about meta business. So just pulling everything all into one. Um, for starters, so like I said, we'll be talking about like Meta, Instagram Reels, turning followers into clients in Canva. So for Meta Business, we touched on this in the first class that we did. If you guys like want to go back and rewatch this as well, it's recorded, it's on the YouTube channel, so you can go and watch the Meta Business one. But Meta Business is kind of just a manager for all of your social media accounts pretty much. So you can kind of track your Facebook, Instagram, your Messenger, like Facebook Messenger, all in one platform. This is nice because if you want to like post out between both of your Facebook and Instagram accounts, this is possible with Meta Business. And it's super easy to set up your Meta Business account as well, as you can see down here by the steps. You can like easily link your Instagram to your Facebook so that everything is all funneling out on both platforms when you're scheduling them. Um, this is nice because then you don't have to like worry about posting on two platforms as well. And you're also like able to assign roles and permissions to different team members within Meta Business to kind of help with ads and page management. So like especially for us here at Keller Williams Milwaukee, we all have access to our Meta Business account, which is really great because if somebody in the North Shore wants to make a post about something, we can easily just like log in and do it. And then the girls out in Lake Country are able to do the same, but out in Lake Country. And it's all just going to funnel to the same platforms. You can access Meta Business Suite through your desktop and the mobile app. And that's also where you're going to be able to schedule posts, reply to messages and comments, and see insights. I know we will touch on in this class about scheduling posts and like how you can do it in Meta. But if you also want like a deeper in-depth tutorial, you can go back to the previous videos we've done and watch it there. All right. We covered your digital presence pretty heavily during this series. Um, I would say that in every single session we did, we were talking about your digital presence in one way or another, whether that's how you're perceiving your personal accounts toward versus your business accounts, or how you want to be seen on your real estate accounts versus how you want to be messaging people and commenting back at people, all of that kind of stuff. Um, First impressions happen online, especially in our day and age with how significant a lot of our generation is using social media. So it kind of is going to play such a big role when you are finding clients and reaching out to clients and all of that kind of stuff is they're going to come back to your social accounts. I know I personally like if I meet somebody or I hear somebody's name, I'm going to go and look them up on Facebook or Instagram or things like that. So when somebody sees your yard sign in a yard or gets a flyer from you or a mailer, they're going to go and look you up online and see what you're doing, what your accounts look like, and things like that. So, first impressions do happen on your accounts. Next will be the credibility and trust aspect of it. People are going to work with people that they know and trust. I think that's pretty given, and all of you guys understand that. So, being consistent, making sure that all of your like posts that are coming out are polished and kind of like consistent across all of your platforms. It's going to show your legitimacy and your relatability, which is going to help you in the long run when you're finding clients and wanting to use social media as a form of lead generating. Next will be your visibility and reach. So, a good digital presence will really help you reach people beyond your immediate circle, and it'll help you expand to other opportunities and clients and connections and things like that. But for the visibility and reach aspect of your social media accounts, if you post something there's a very good chance it's going to end up on somebody's like Explorer page for Instagram, for say. I know I've had it so many times when like I'm on my Explorer page and I'm like, oh, there's one of our agents. And it just like popped up and we might not even follow each other, but it's still showing up there. So it's kind of your social media accounts are all working together in a way and like showing you content that is specific to what you look up. So like right now, because I'm getting married, so my whole Explorer page is like wedding dresses and things like that. So if you have somebody who's like really been kind of focusing on buying a house and wanting to be a home buyer, homeowner, their Explorer page is going to be a lot of real estate and real estate agents and different brokerages and things like that. So making sure that you are being consistent with that, with your posting, so that you are showing up on people's accounts, even if they don't follow you. Brand identity. So it's telling your story of who you are. It's who you stand for, what you stand for, why people should work with you and trust you. This, I feel like, is one of the things that can take the longest to kind of create is your brand identity because it's always changing and that's totally okay. And I think it also has a lot to do with like your branding and how you're branding yourself on your social media. So like the color scheme you're using and your logo and the things you're posting and the way that your feed looks, all of that kind of stuff will play into your brand identity. Engagements and relationships. So, social platforms and online spaces will allow you to interact directly with your audiences. So, creating those strong, loyal relationships with your community. I know when we had Newbie on Beyond the Feed, he really talked about engagement and relationships pretty heavily with how he's like using his social media to build these relationships with clients and with people who aren't clients but could potentially be clients one day. Um, he said that he like if somebody likes one of his pictures or like comments on one of them, he'll just reach out to them and be like, "Hey, are you interested in buying a house? What does that look like for you? What neighborhoods are you interested in?" So kind of just like engaging with them or like commenting back on the comments that they post on your accounts and all of that kind of stuff will help build your relationships with your followers as well as your credibility. And then the competitive advantage. So if people can't find you online, they'll likely find your competitors instead. So we know that social media has been a thing that has really started to take off over the past few years for the real estate industry. So really making sure that you're like going in on your social media, having it, making sure that it doesn't need to be like perfect and you don't need to spend money to make sure that it like is getting out there to people. But just making sure that it is like up to date and you are posting things that are gonna make your followers engaged and things like that so that you do have a strong online presence. So this is kind of going back to what I was talking about with the scheduling posts on Meta Business. So when you open up your Meta Business account, it's going to look like this. Oops. Oh gosh. Where are we? It's going to look like this, your home page. You will see right underneath where your accounts are, the thing that says create a post. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to this page. And you're going to be able to see that you can add your media here. You'll be able to flip between your Facebook and the Instagram feed preview. So what it will look like on those platforms. Your media will show up here, the images or videos you're posting. You can write your caption here. But this is where you will schedule your posts. So the scheduling option was something that we did touch on with scheduling posts in advance, making sure that like you focus on having a content calendar if that's something you're interested in, and how to build out your content calendar, things like that. But that is where you're able to schedule it. So once you click the little on button, it's going to look like this, and it's going to show you what times your followers are most active on Facebook or Instagram. So for Facebook today, our followers were most active at 11:40 a.m. So that's when I should have scheduled my post. And for Instagram, it was the same actually. Sometimes you will get it where like the Instagram or the Facebook time will be different from one another. That's totally okay. You're totally able to adjust it as well. So you could just click on the little clock thing, and then it'll show you the times that you can pick. I usually, when I'm scheduling posts, make them go out on Facebook and Instagram at the exact same time, just because I know a lot of our followers follow both accounts. So, like, they'll see it on Facebook, but then, like, 3 hours later, would see it on Instagram. And I would just rather have it be all going out there at the same time. So, another thing we touched on during this series was Instagram Reels. We had Charlie Walker come in and was getting real about Reels. He covered a lot of stuff, but the two main things that really stuck out were his use of CapCut and his use of Linktree. So, CapCut is the video editing platform that he uses to make all of his Instagram Reels. I think 2 weeks ago, he came back on to kind of show us exactly how he uses CapCut. So you're able to tune back into that video and kind of see how he was going through the process of it. But CapCut is a very easy to use video editing platform. All you have to do is have your videos in your camera roll, and then you can just literally drag and drop them into CapCut, and they'll give you tons of different templates that you're able to use if you don't want to just create your own. This is the main platform he said that he uses and the one that he finds the easiest. He said that he's a pro user, so he has some different, like, access to different things on there than if you were just using the free account, but the free account works totally fine, he said, and is like he said he used it for a very long time free, but once he started to get more into the video editing, he switched to the pro version. But that's CapCut. And the next one was Linktree. He touched on Linktree as well as another brand, but I think that Linktree is the most commonly used. And that is going to be the link that sits in your Instagram or your Facebook bio. You can also like have it so that when you like post something, the links come up at the bottom as well. But Linktree is just going to be a way to link a whole bunch of different things to one feed, and it'll be really easy for your clients or potential clients to go there and see it. So when you put it in your bio and somebody clicks the link, it could pop up with your headshot, a little bio about you, and then a link to your buyer guide, a link to your seller guide, a link to a questionnaire, a first-time homebuyer questionnaire, a link to your preferred mortgage lender's application, things like that. Um, a lot of people do use this so that they are able to link a whole bunch of stuff in just with just one URL. Um, but that is Linktree.
And I would just add too, you can also link to your website, but I would say if you're setting this up, make those links and the titles more of a call to action instead of just like buyer's guide or my website, like search for homes, request a home valuation. Those types of things I think will capture people's attention a lot more than just like, oh, click on my website or check me out on Facebook. So just kind of think of that a little bit more, like when you are setting this up and like naming those titles for whether it's your social media accounts, your website, but like link to specific pages on your site, like the home valuation page, like the full property search. So you can get a little bit more granular with some of those links as well. Um, Love the idea with like the mortgage application, or obviously like digital links for your buyer and seller guides are great ideas. But just kind of think through, why would someone want to click on your buyer guide and your seller guide, and what sort of content is going to be the most valuable to your clients and the followers that you have on social media.
Yeah, and I think another one that is really fun that Abigail Jacqua has linked in her link tree is like an MKE bucket list type of thing. So even though it is like in her link tree where her other real estate related links are, there's also this fun one that it's like, oh, like I'm totally interested in this bucket list. And she posts about it too. Like, click on the link in my bio for my MKE bucket list type thing. So it doesn't have to be just fully real estate related stuff linked in it. It can also be stuff about the community, about the city you live in, about Wisconsin, just things like that.
Love that. And I would say too, we also put together our Community Pulse magazine, and that's a link that's on our Agent Hub. You can always grab that too, and it's got the top 5 things to do in each county. So it's something that you can kind of utilize more so as like a relocation guide if you have people who are moving to Milwaukee and need a little bit of an overview of what does each county entail. It's got all of the statistics from 2024 versus 23 in terms of price, average days on market, and I forget what the other ones are, but that's just another link example that you can utilize that we have already put together.
And I'm noticing that on the next slide, I did not take the cap cut away. So ignore cap cut. But um when we had Newbie on, he talked about turning followers into clients. So he kind of if you look at his social media accounts, you can see obviously he's posting houses, real estate related things, but he's also posting stuff about the community and where he lives and about Milwaukee and all of that kind of stuff. So he talked about not just posting like sold, new listing, open house posts, but making sure that there's a meaning behind the house and why it's special. A good example he had was he interviewed a like past client of his and was like asking him about like what his favorite part of the new house that he moved into was, and he was talking about the backyard with the like the fenced in backyard, and he made a video out of it, attached a photo of the house, like the backyard with the fence, and it was just a way that he was able to show to his followers that he connects with his clients on a deeper level than just selling their house. So he went really deep into that. He also, if you guys have checked out his social media accounts before, he really highlights neighborhoods and the community. He posts a lot about Whitefish Bay and what it's like to live in Whitefish Bay and be a community member. About the different shops on Silver Spring. He also has his newbies list for newbies, which goes and interviews different like restaurants, little boutiques, shops around the Milwaukee area. Um, so he's able to build relationships with these followers versus just doing transactions with these followers. He's gonna be go into this coffee shop and someone's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, like I follow you on Instagram. You're Jonathan Newby," and then he'll be able to connect with them about his social media and then move into the process of like, if you're ever interested in buying a house or doing things like that, hit me up. Obviously he is such a big presence on social media. You don't need to be such like as big of a presence as he is to be able to still do these same things. You can go to downtown Heartland and ask the store owner if you can take a picture in front of their store and post about it on social media and let them know what your favorite coffee is from that little shop. There's tons of different ideas you can do. You can also highlight different neighborhoods within like let's just say we're working in Lake Country, the different neighborhoods in Lake Country and why each of them is special. You can talk about the school districts. I know, especially for Whitefish Bay, a lot of our agents in the North Shore area have been really playing on how Whitefish Bay just got voted to be the top school district again. So kind of just covering a wide realm of things and not just posting like, I just sold a house or I have a new listing. Um, Posting things that people really, I mean, they obviously care about that, but posting things that they care about community wise is gonna help you go a long way.
And I just want to add one thing too, because we had Newbie on last summer as well. And I just specifically remember him talking about, yes, he does more professional videos with his newbies list for newbies, but he also will occasionally just like prop up his phone in like a kitchen cabinet, I think it was,
Hmm.
and take a video of himself talking about like a recent article that came out from the city of Milwaukee talking about like a new development. And he kind of just went through the article and like talked through, okay, what does this mean for our community? What are, what are the things that are coming? What does this mean for you? What does this mean for, you know, traffic patterns, like anything like that. So I just thought that was really interesting when he said, like, yes, I do pay for professional video, but I also will just randomly find an article that I feel like is valuable and interesting. And I think my clients and my followers will also find valuable and interesting. So I want to talk about that and post that on social media. So again, I think he literally said he put his phone up on a kitchen cabinet and I propped it up and like took a video of himself talking, and that was it. So,
I think he said that that was like one of his video at that time was like the video that had the most amount of views was the
yeah.
one that he like propped up in his kitchen cabinet. So proof you don't need to have some crazy videographer and things like that. Like even Charlie Walker, all of his reels he does are taken on his iPhone. He
Mhm.
just walks around the house like this, taking videos and photos. So you definitely don't need to have professionals doing it. You can easily do it yourself with your phone. Next thing that we touched on was creating a content calendar. So laying out what you'll post and when it can really help you be consistent with your social media posting, and stay consistent. So there's tons of different things you can use, like Google Sheets and Excel, Trello, Notion, a printed calendars, social media schedulers. Those are just some ones that you're able to, if you want to schedule out, you can have like use later, plan on, buffer, Hootsuite, Meta Business. Meta Business is the one that I would recommend because I've used it the most. Um, but this is what the contact calendar for this person looks like. This is a very overwhelming looking one, but you can obviously make it so much less overwhelming. I think all the colors are what's overwhelming me. Um, but you can even have like on Mondays, you can just do a fun post, share something cool you did this weekend with your kids or your friends, your family, to let your followers know, like, I am a real person. I'm not just generating all of these posts to go out about real estate. Like, show that you went to a cool new restaurant in Kenosha or something like that to just give people some fun content. You can also do like inspirational posts on every Tuesday, something along those lines. Friday can be brand related posts, so you can share like customer success stories. You could share reviews from clients. You also don't need to be posting every single day. It'll help you for sure, but it can also get overwhelming and you don't want to be focusing all of your time just on social media. You have plenty of other areas of your business that you can focus your time and energy into as well. But this is just a good form of lead gen. So content calendars can be really easy to do, especially like, I mean, if you look, you can just use a Google Sheet and make one. I've done it before where I've created it in Canva. You can literally just look up calendar and Canva will like give you a calendar and you can go in and put like, okay, on Tuesday, I'm going to post my new listing that's going live on Thursday and schedule it all out for the month in advance type of thing. And then you'll have a pretty good guideline of what you should follow for that month.
And if you can't think of a schedule, use AI. You can literally go into ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever AI platform that you prefer to use, and you can ask it to generate you a content calendar for social media. You can say, here are the platforms that I use, and it'll generate that sort of structure with ideas on what you want to post. So you can go into it saying, I want to post a market update for these counties or these neighborhoods. I'd also like to include some community events and have it spit out, some ideas for you to have that starting point. And then you can put that into that spreadsheet that Bella was talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna even say at the end of this, we can, if we have time, we can even go into Chat GPT and I can show you what to type in and all of that kind of stuff to see what it generates. So, okay. Um, the last class that we had, we talked about the 10-5-1 method. So the 10-5-1 rule is for social media marketing, referring to a daily strategy to help build connections and engagement. So yourself by making 10 comments a day on other people's posts, sending some five direct messages or text messages a day, and posting once a day, either on like something that you've created or like reposting something on your story, things like that. So by engaging with like doing those 10 comments or even 10 likes on people's posts, engaging with them is going to people are going to notice. They're going to be like, "Oh, that's so cool that they liked my post." I know especially like when I post my Instagram story and people like heart my Instagram story, I notice it. And then the next time that they post one, I'll heart their Instagram story. So just doing that with the messaging, if somebody comments on your post or is interested in real estate and you know that they are, shoot them a message. Just putting yourself out there will help you build connections and relationships. And then the one post a day, so sharing your own content or posting like something else reposted to your story will help people know that like you are still you're active on your socials and they are able to engage with you that way as well. Okay. I think one of the first classes that we had was covering Canva. So Canva is a digital art kit. You can also use it as like a PowerPoint, social media helper, all of that kind of stuff. So imagine you want to make a flyer, an Instagram post, a resume, birthday invite, literally anything and you're not a graphic designer, you can easily use Canva. So Canva is going to give you like ready-to-made post templates. They're going to already be done. So all you have to do is go in and change the words, the colors, pictures, all of that, and kind of just make it yourself, which is super nice. I know I use this like a lot when I'm trying to think of like if we're making a graphic for something, I'll just like go into the search bar in Canva and look up just like two keywords and then a whole bunch of them will generate and it'll be super easy to just go through and pick like, oh, okay, I like how this one looks. You don't need Photoshop skills or really like any skills to use Canva. It's a lot of just dragging and dropping. You can move things around super easily, be able to add your logo. If you have the brand kit on there, you can like upload your colors and your logo, your fonts all into the brand kit, which will make it super easy. You can swap pictures by like searching and like, well, you can like pull them from your desktop, obviously. But if you want different pictures, if you go into the search bar, you're able to just search like Wisconsin in summer, and a whole bunch of photos will come up that you're able to use. Like I was saying, it does have a giant library of photos, icons, graphics that you're able to use, but it does have tons of fonts as well. The fonts are kind of fun to play with. Sometimes they stress me out because there's so many of them, and you could like literally scroll for hours. Um, but it's kind of cool because there are so many different ones, so you're able to play around with it a lot. You're able to make a ton of stuff for like work purposes. So like you can, I mean, we can in the marketing concierge also make you your buyer and seller guide. But if you're interested, you can make your own like buyer and seller guide in there, different presentations, business cards. We can also do that in the marketing concierge if you need us to, as well as social media posts. Um, but it's also cool because, like, for your personal life, you can do like vision boards, greeting cards. I know like around December is usually the time that people start making vision boards. So you can do that in Canva. You can easily download it into a JPEG PDF and then post it on your social media and be like, this is my 2025 or 2026 visions, things like that. Um, and like I was saying, when you're done, it's super easy to just download it as a picture, PDF, a video. I think Charlie, actually, this just reminded me when he was doing his presentation on Reels, he talked about Canva for video purposes, and I think Madeline touched on it as well. It can be really easy to use it, but I think overall CapCut is an easier option just because Canva can get really nitty, like it can get really hard to pull and drag and drop stuff, and CapCut you can easily do on your phone. So that's just my idea. Um, in short, Canva is kind of like your own personal graphic designer that you have, but you're easily able to control it and you can make it as complex or not as complex as you want it to. And with that being said, Lindsay.
Yeah, I just want to add to, Bella touched on our marketing concierge strictly uses Canva. And I think The organization that allows you as well is also a huge benefit, because you can have your brand kit in there and have your fonts, your colors, your logos, your headshot, the other photos that you want to use consistently throughout your marketing materials in one spot. You have templates created for you that you can easily copy over for the next listing or the next open house that you're holding. So just the organization that it provides is a huge benefit to any business, not just real estate. So that's honestly one of the reasons that I think our team loves it so much as well. It also provides, I think, really solid sharing capabilities. We're very much in the space of we want to share with you guys. We don't want to hold on to things. So we love to create templates for you and then share that with you, and then you take that and run with it. Or we have a lot of agents who reach out and they don't necessarily need us to brand their listing and buyer guides, but they just want the template to take and use on their own. And so it's so easy for us to share those templates with you guys, so that you can rip off and duplicate whatever you want. So those are just a couple of things that I love the most about Canva, to be honest. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of free stock of photos in there, especially if you have Canva Pro, um, and a lot of other good stuff. So and it only gets more exciting. So they actually just released a release date for the KW and Canva integration. This is actually coming in a week on September 4th. So I will go ahead and share my screen, Bella, because I have a
Okay.
little bit of a presentation that I can share with just a little bit more insight. And you guys, there's going to be more insight coming as well. So this is just a little bit of a preview, especially since we're a week out for this being released. So essentially, all right. So September 4th, they are launching the KW Canva experience. So this is the date that everyone is going to get access to your own KW Canva Pro account. So this will get you access to all of those Keller Williams branded kits and templates. Um, and then you basically are adding the KW app to Canva to access like the listings and profile from command. So it's integrated in the fact that Canva is going to be able to pull from your marketing profile and your listings that are hooked up in command. And then you can design, collaborate, share all the same sort of features that you're used to with Canva Pro, but under like a Keller Williams umbrella, basically. So these next few slides are just going to show a little bit more of a deep dive into what it looks like. So essentially, on the 4th, you're going to log into canva.kw.com. And you're going to log in with your command username and password. So if you don't know that specifically offhand, if you have it saved in your web browser, you should be able to view that when you're logged out. Click the little eyeball icon for your password and you should be able to see that. So that's what you'll use to log in to canva.kw.com. And then that is going to get you access to this specific KW Canva account. So there, it's going to have an already built out brand kit for Keller Williams. So you'll kind of see that preview over here on the screen. So you've got the core Keller Williams logos, but it also includes luxury and commercial. So if you're doing any luxury listing marketing, you'll have all of those luxury logos in there already. And so it's kind of nice that it's already built out for you. You don't have to look up the Keller Williams brand kit to pull that specific hex code for the KW Red or anything else like that. But then it gets you access to all of those brand templates. So there's going to be hundreds of ready to use templates. Whether it's for listings, whether it's buyer and seller guides, open house marketing, market update templates, where you can plug and play different neighborhoods and stats into. And then there's going to be some other things for leadership in terms of, celebrating our people and things like that. So, um, a lot of great templates to play around with right off the bat. So then it also gets you access to your listings and your profile from command. So you're essentially going into apps, searching KW, and you find Keller Williams here, just like what you see on the screen. So when you open up that KW app, it's going to prompt you to connect it into this Canva account. And you're going to log back into command, and you're basically going to grant access between the two platforms like you see on the screen right here. So it'll say Canva wants to access your KW account. Again, it's going to read your marketing profile, your other profile in order to pull that information. But then it'll pull listings where if you have listings that, you know, pulling from the MLS, that's kind of where you see this MLS integration come into play, where you can pull in the images and the details and pop them in to that design right away. So that's some of the exciting stuff that's coming in a week. So it is a pro account, so you do get that full capability in terms of resizing, the background remover, all of the different assets in terms of stock photos, elements that you can grab from the library. And you can also collaborate and share like you're used to with a pro account. So download publishing designs, sharing with other KW members. There's even going to be a Market Center folder, so we'll have to kind of dig into that a little bit and see what that includes in terms of sharing templates across our market centers and agents, and then generating those template links as well. All right. I mean, and then Canva has a lot of the other training resources as well. We've done some specific Canva trainings the past year or so. Our team is always happy to help with anything Canva related. I know we can get really specific in terms of the things that you can do in Canva. I love talking about it. I think it's super fun. It's just a really great tool. And I think once you learn some of those tips and tricks, it really helps you save time when you are designing things. So the other thing that's available right now is an FAQ, and I just wanted to touch on a couple of things within that. So let me actually go back in here. So in Command, if you're looking for that, if you click into Connect and search Canva, you're going to see this Canva FAQ available for you to view. And so we kind of went through a lot of like, what are the key features? The design templates. You got the AI powered design with Canva's features there. Just a lot of different things. The brand consistency with the brand kits. Everyone has access to Canva. Anyone with a KW email will have access to this Canva account. It is not specifically through command, although it does sound like that's future integration. But right now it's that canva.kw.com link. Let's see here. So one question that I get asked a lot, so what happens if I have an existing Canva account? So you can choose to migrate your content over to the KW account, or you can keep those two separate. So my stance on this is if you've used Canva for a number of years and you've developed a lot of templates and you you have a lot built out in your Canva account, it's not as easy to transfer that into this KW account, only because right now, in terms of Canva's capability, you can only copy designs from one account to the other. So just me personally, I can't even tell you how many templates I have in my Canva account and the templates that I've created for agents. And so the idea of copying over every single design to a new account is very daunting and would take a lot of time. So just kind of think through that. Obviously, you'll have access to it right away. It's just a matter of, do you want to kind of maintain those two, or do you want to transfer everything and just use that KW Canva account now. Similarly to that, if you've paid for a Canva Pro account, can you get a refund? So users with a month-to-month subscription can cancel their subscription. If you have an annual membership that you want to cancel, you can contact Canva support from that personal account. And it just explained that you're being added to the Keller Williams Enterprise account and asked to have your plan canceled, and they will do that. So they'll issue a refund for the unused portion of that annual subscription. So you'll just have to include, you know, the issue category is just Canva plans. Your issues you just want to cancel. And then just explain that you're getting that KW Enterprise account, and then you'd like a refund for the remainder of the year. So then you can cancel the plan via the billing and plans tab in your account settings or submit that directly to support. So that is definitely an option if you do want to cancel that Canva Pro and get a refund for the rest of the year. Because you do have that Pro account through the new KW Enterprise account. All right. Those are really the main ones that I wanted to touch on, just based on the questions that I've gotten since this was announced a few months ago. But this FAQ is available on command through Connect right now. All right. I'm going to stop right here and see if there's any questions. And once this is rolled out, I'm sure we'll touch on this a little bit more in detail. The nice thing is that if you've already used Canva, nothing's really changing. It's going to be the same functionality. You're essentially just getting more. You're getting more Keller Williams specific branded templates added to your account and have access to, which is exciting.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thanks, guys.